In this section, we're going to consider post-operation logging. So these are records of jobs that have taken place, perhaps after a migration or a backup, that you can review and then determine how successful the job has been or if there have been any issues. So in order to view these logs, we need to click on the Logs button here, which sits under the View section on various tabs. So here it is on the Home tab. It also sits on the right there on the Migrator tab and also on the Backup tab there. So if I click any of these buttons, it takes me to the same place, which is the log viewer. Now, firstly, I need to load a log to view. So I click on History, and this is currently showing me the history of jobs for the past 5 days. So I can expand that out maybe to 50 days and get a broader view of jobs that have taken place. And then I can select one of these to load. The operation column here tells you about the nature of the job that took place. Started was when it was initiated, and duration, how long it took. And we've got also these source and target columns there in case you want to reference those. So if I scroll right down to the bottom, we've got 3 jobs here which are noted as snapshots, and these are actually backup jobs. So this is a SharePoint site snapshot, so I'm going to select that and click load. So that then loads the log for the job, and you can drill down into this and view individual elements and double click on them for more information. So for example, here this was a copy into the backup of this item, which was the confidential 3 document. Within this view, you can also filter using this drop down. So you could choose to see only the successful items, only information, only items that have failed, or warnings, or details at the bottom there. Context for things like failed. Failed could be something that failed to back up or something that failed to migrate. Warning could be if there was a minor issue. So for example, if you chose to migrate a site, chose to copy permissions, but hadn't mapped the users appropriately, then it would say that it copied the item but wasn't able to find the user in order to copy permissions. So within this view, you can also export this data to analyze it externally in perhaps Excel, for example. So if I click Select All, and click Save As, and choose to save as a CSV, I can save this log as a CSV. So call it Site Backup Log, and then click Save. And now if I click Open File, that will open in Excel with a view of the log. What's interesting within here is you can do some quick analysis. So if I just choose Data, filter, I could then filter and show just things that have failed, for example. This job doesn't contain any failures, but that's something you could do and then analyze those and view the source and so on. So one final thing I'll show you about logs is how to create a log to perhaps send to our help desk team. So this is if there's something you want to raise with them or some other issue. Now, in order to do this, carry out the migration you want to, or the backup or so on, then click on Help, Log Manager, Save Logs. Now this is going to save a more detailed log as a zip file, so I'm going to call it detailed and click Save. And you get a message here saying the log file was saved. Please open a case with support and attach log.zip to the support case. So again, it's prompting you that this is a useful thing to do if you want to save and send a more detailed log to support to follow up with a ticket. So I click OK. And just quickly, if I go and browse to that, there's the detailed log, and it contains a lot of information about the job that has taken place, more so than in the simple log I showed you before. So that's how to work with post-migration logging, how to view a log for a specific job and analyze it in Excel, for example, and also how to save a more detailed log, perhaps for investigation with a support team.